interest for some of these teams he like. You know what I'm saying? I pulled up and I'm like, I know whose car that is. It's got a funny shade of red on it. My guy Kenny Matthews in the building, man. We're gonna talk a little high school football. Kenny, what it do? What's going on, man? How you feeling?
Mark, we talked a couple of weeks ago about trying to get back on, and I kind of lost track of it. A little busy.
Oh, always. Well, it's that time of year. I mean, there's a reason you're busy. You know what I mean? There's a reason you're busy. I don't know what else you would be doing this time. It's definitely not the spring. I know you'd be on a field somewhere with softball, but I expect you to be on the gridiron.
You know Mark, it's one of those things where, I just, you get tied up and caught into we both had anniversaries the same weekend,
Yeah, man. Shout out to the missus, you know what I'm saying?
So
I was like, what day is this? You know what I mean?
Unreal that we're separated by one day.
One day, a few hours probably.
Yes,
really. Unreal. That's why I texted you. I'm like, wait a minute, what day are we talking about here? You know what I'm saying?
And I guess, Mark, it just gets to me. It's already halfway home in the regular season.
And I've been saying that.
It didn't really sneak up on me. I think last week I kind of thought about it, a little bit for the first time. But, we're knocking on the door here. Every game means something the rest of the way.
It's district play. I was saying that, on the H-Town podcast, this like for 3 weeks, I can't believe how fast it's going. We're in week 6. Hey, if you're not getting it now, you might not get it at all. Because it's already started. We're 2 going on 3 games in the district.
It's mind-boggling how the anticipation of August seems like it crawls.
Right.
You're so excited after coaching school, but it takes forever to go through a couple scrimmages. But then when that Labor Day hits,
it's downhill.
It's downhill, man. It rolls quick, and every year it seems. Now I think it's because you and I are just more busy.
Yeah. We don't really have time to really just think about it till you get on the field, and it's week 6.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And some people got 2 wins, some people got 2 losses. You know what I mean? But man, let's get into
it, man. Let's go, man. I appreciate the forum, man.
Absolutely.
3rd time here, man. Absolutely. It's always fun. 3rd time's a charm. Let's get out.
You don't need no
invitation. Let's go.
You don't need no invitation. Now, week 5, we saw the big game that everybody was pointing to. Of course, Waxahachie gets the Duncanville victory. They go into DeSoto. We kind of talked about this because we probably talk once or twice a week. They hadn't beat DeSoto in 6 tries. Not going to make that 7. No. I think that DeSoto's getting healthy at the right time. They got Legend Howell back. We got some other pieces back. Sarad Baker. Listen, my opinion, he should be in the top 5 in the state at his position.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
From what I've seen, the body of work this year combined with last year, you gotta get Sarad Baker up there. Whoever just giving out these stars or whatever you want to call it. You don't need stars in my opinion, but this guy has been playing at a phenomenal level. I had a chance to see him in week 2 against North Crowley, and I said that guy's elite. Yep. Of course, I knew that. But when you see this year, he's getting the volume of carries that we all knew that he could handle.
Yep.
I think DeSoto has a real legit shot at winning this district. They still got Duncanville. They still got a couple more things. Still got to play Cedar Hill, which is undefeated, by the way. But back to this game.
Big win for them last week.
Big win against Lancaster is a tough team. I saw them as well.
Yeah.
That's not a team that you kind of look past. But I think, they had them on homecoming. If you ever listen and you've been around Coach Mathis for a number of years, one of the best motivators of men, and I know what his message could have been. Coach Sweeney, veteran coaches on that staff, they got these guys to start peaking at the right time. Talk about that particular matchup and what you're seeing from DeSoto so far.
Well, I think it's 2 things. First, DeSoto kind of got poked. The bear got poked a little bit a couple weeks ago.
Right.
Some controversy. Things been going on. Things were said. Things of this nature.
Right.
It seems like there's a refocus. Mr. Booby's getting the ball again.
Absolutely.
Which, it's, those first 2 games, I thought that was a misprint when I saw the stats. I'm like, I go.
Right.
But the thing about it is that Coach Mathis, I think you made an excellent point. He can motivate people for one game big time. Maybe there's not a better one out there that can motivate you.
Absolutely.
You're catching Waxahachie at the perfect time.
Right.
You're hearing everything Friday night.
Right.
All the way through Monday, how big of a win it was over Duncanville.
Right.
Then you got to ratchet it all back up. And if you don't get to that level or even a higher level,
right,
you're going to get beat that
right,
way.
Right.
It's just because those two teams are very similar as in talent.
Right.
So when they played, I thought there may be a little a letdown there originally going in for Waxahachie.
Right.
But what's surprising is that they did hardly anything offensively.
Right.
They never gave their defense a chance to play in that game because it
Right.
was 3-and-out, turnovers, whatever may have been the case.
Right.
And you can't build momentum in a big game like that, short fields,
Yep.
and 3-and-outs.
Right.
Their problem is not being able to get off on third down the field
Right.
and not converting third down.
Right.
You can't do that to DeSoto. You can't do that to Duncanville. You can't do that to Cedar Hill. You can't do that to Lancaster.
Right.
It's just that. And you can always tally it up that maybe they're inexperienced in the big games. I mean, they're coming. Coach Tolley's done a phenomenal job over at Waxahachie in a short period of time.
Absolutely.
You and I both were at that True Buzz when he tried to tell us how he wanted to bring Waxahachie back. He said
Right.
he wanted those interior lines, win the line of scrimmage.
Right.
I said, you're in the toughest difference to win the line of scrimmage.
Right.
And he said, that's how we're going to build our team.
Right.
He's got the skill position players there. I think he's very close to having that on the line of scrimmage, too.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
he's very close to getting that where it is.
He is.
It's just the District of Doom. And
Yeah.
you play both of those guys back to back.
Right.
You hope for a split.
Well, I'll tell you a little nugget, too. I think that the classes behind the 26 class of Waxahachie are going to be just
That's the one he told us
27
about.
and 28.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because we had these conversations. Those guys have actually been playing on varsity for 2 years, including this year. They're going to be even better next year. All those guys are coming back. So if I'm Coach Tolley, I'm kind of doing this because, the other guys may be losing something. Then we got a realignment coming up.
Yeah, sure.
In February. So it could be that they might not be in that district anymore.
That's very true.
So, but back to your point, I was at the Duncanville game, and that was his message after the game. Hey, guys, this was one win.
Yeah.
This is not the state title. It's not even the district title. We celebrate tonight, but we move on. And when you think about 16, 17, 18-year-olds, it's one of those things where it's either on or it's off. And you just can't rest on your laurels with that in this district.
Can you imagine if we had TV and all of our highlights, we had a game
terrible.
like that?
It'd be terrible.
Oh,
it'd be terrible.
I would have picked the weight up all weekend.
Yeah, there was no way we had this many shooters. It was the Houston Chronicle, the Houston Post at that particular time. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have all these shooters like we have at games now.
Sure.
And outside media besides the major networks. So, it's a gift and a curse because you can see what you do, and then you got to go out there and prove it. But Hatchie's not done. I know they're not done.
Absolutely.
They got too much talent and a great coaching staff over there. No. But, hey, this was their wake-up call, just like Duncanville got that wake-up call before.
Absolutely.
But DeSoto's peaking at the right time.
And DeSoto now has they're in
the driver's seat.
They're in the driver's seat here at this point in time. I mean, they went out. They're number one.
Right.
Period. They win the toughest district. And
it's theirs to win or lose now.
Toughest upper portion district in the state of Texas.
We're gonna talk
there's
about
a few other districts.
There's some other districts. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. We're going to talk about that because there's some other districts out there that in 6A that definitely kind of can live up to the
and that one down in Houston, not bad either.
Yeah, it's a couple down in Houston that's not bad.
That's not bad.
Dickinson, Pearland Dawson, all those guys, Manville, there's some great games.
Unbelievable. You see all the big games in Houston last week, and did any of them play defense?
No. I mean, and that's a whole nother story. Shout out to my guy Landon Williams Campus. He had a monster game, but it was some other games. Shout out to my guy Trey Mosley.
C.C. King. It was like 35-28, 42-42 at halftime.
But can you say this honestly this year though? And not to get off topic, but parity, I think.
It's the perfect word.
The Giants have kind of come down and, they got their legs cut off a little bit. It used to be it was here. But I think it's kind of those middle-of-the-pack teams that are kind of reaching up and say, hey, we're here now.
I mean, talking with Ward Fasol with Channel 5 and Matt Diggs, we've been talking about that on the wrap-up show, that parity has arrived not just in the Metroplex, in the state of Texas.
Right.
I don't think that there is a prohibited favored in the class, well, let me take it back. I think there's one. South Lake Carroll, I think is South Lake Carroll to me. But if you mess with the other three, the top one there, you can make an argument anybody can win those. The big dogs can win
Absolutely.
it. I mean, there's no you're going to say, okay, it's Duncanville. It's Duncanville.
Clearly.
And it's not. It's not. It's not Galena Park. It's not. It's all those teams. And think about this, Mark. Atascocita could miss the playoffs.
Yes.
They can't lose any more district games.
If anybody's been asking me, I'm gonna be honest. I like Summer Creek in that.
Yes.
I saw North Shore earlier this year, and they're. I won't say that they're not the favorites. You got to beat the big dog to beat them. Yeah. But the way Summer Creek's come out and played, and they got Atascocita this week, and the way C.E. King came out and played. Listen, Kingwood as well. It's 5 teams legitimate.
I don't know if they're favored in the rest of those games. I don't think they're favored now.
Right.
I mean, so we're talking about since we've been in the business.
Right.
When was the last time we could say they missed the playoffs?
Right.
I mean, that just tells you the amount of I call it good teams.
Right.
Not greatness,
right?
But a lot of good teams. So, man, if you're missing a player here or there, man, or if you're, I mean, it's huge now. Right. So I think that this district race, Houston, Dallas, is huge this year because, man, there is no room for error.
There's no room for error. No margin. You have to. It's week to week, and it's almost like division matchups in the SEC or. In the NFC East or the AFC West, things like that. You got to bring your dogs every week.
Look at Trinity. I mean, Trinity is, now they're fighting
to
get
LD
into
Bell. Shout out to LD Bell, the Blue
street.
Raiders, right down the street.
3 Maylock specials.
Yeah.
I mean, to come back and win.
Right.
I mean, they can basically clinch a playoff spot by winning this week.
Yes.
Yes. They had how many years of 2-8s and 3-7s and 1-9s? Now
I think it's been since 2012. Yeah. If that's LD Bell's been to the playoffs.
That's crazy to me.
That's crazy.
So it's it's South Lake Carroll. And to me, South Oak Cliff.
Right.
And the rest, let's go play ball.
Let's go play ball.
Let's go play ball.
Yeah.
And it's great being a reporter.
Absolutely. I mean, you get the privilege of seeing this up close, and that's one thing that kind of drives us because we've been doing this a while. Is it's year to year, and the thing that coaches try to tell other people is that each team is different. It might be the same cast of characters. But each team is different. Yeah. There's no team that's the same.
No.
Because it changes. Kids graduate, you bring another group in, and I hear coaches, and we see that, and the favorite from last year may not be the favorite this year.
No, and I mean, you think about it, North Crowley had the heavy graduation.
For sure.
They're getting their sea legs. I think they're getting a balance of who they are. They're getting their identity now.
Right.
But I think maybe the beginning of the year we had this unrealistic expectation that they were going to that they were just going to be great. We're just going to reload all these parts that went out there.
Right.
That was a lot of great talent, experienced,
yes,
talent that walked out that building at Jerry's World last year in December.
All those guys are playing on Saturdays.
Yes.
Right now.
I mean, 3 years of runs in the playoffs, going through the gauntlet, getting through that and winning it.
Right.
You can't replace that in one off season and one summer.
Right.
You had to have to go through some growing pains to go through all that. And now that you've got, we've kind of washed that out. We're not talking about North Crowley as the defending state champion anymore. We're talking about what are they going to do to get better and make a deep run in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Now, the focus has changed.
Yeah.
And I said, anytime you can close that door and look ahead, that's when you get to become a better football team.
Right.
And I think that's what's going to help North Crowley going forward.
Well, I saw North Crowley the first 2 games, and they're close. Mm-hmm. But you got to realize who's their coach, too, as well. When you talk about Coach Ray Gates, Coach Harris, Coach White, and all of those guys on that staff, the staff knows. They know. And, they don't listen to the outside noise. But when you see it on the field, you know that this is a well-coached team. They'll bounce back. I knew they'd bounce back for this. But now, listen, they got that out the way. They got no more street talk. None of this thing. It's back to business and focus on getting back to where they know they should be.
And it's week 6. That's what it's supposed to be
right.
now. I mean, that preseason stuff, preseason's there for non-district's there for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hold your hat and measuring sticks and all those nice cliches you say and all that.
Right.
All you're wanting to do is get your football team better, but you want to make sure you get better and not have a mod squad on top of it.
Absolutely.
South Oak Cliff is very fortunate that they're not beat up with that schedule that they had.
Right.
Now, people are going to say they have bye weeks now. I get that.
Right.
I get it now.
Of course.
But the thing about this is one of the things I think is the most underrated thing about Coach Todd. Mm-hmm. Every year it's been this way. So they said, how are they going to be focused for the playoffs?
Right.
How many dogs did they have in the playoffs in this 3-year stretch in the playoff games?
Right.
How many?
Right.
He gets his team focused for money time.
Right.
Regardless of how bad that schedule is for the last 6 games of
Right.
the year, his team is ready to play football.
Right.
And, I mean, now that team, I mean, if you're Coach Todd and you look at that record after that non-district schedule, man, you got to be smiling from ear to ear, but you ain't showing your team out.
Right. No. You keep foot on the gas, but
Yes,
I mean, if you know Coach Todd and that staff well, you know, everybody wanted to know why they came out in the practice jerseys for game 1 of the district. That's the mindset.
Yes.
Refocus.
Yes.
Take this seriously. Yes. That's the reason they're going back. In my opinion, I already said.
I mean,
I was at the North Shore game. Total dominance.
To me, I think it's the only locks. It's Southfield Cliff and South Lake Carroll.
Oh, and Carthage. Carthage. Yeah.
My bad, Coach Clint. My bad. That's my bad, Clint.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got to call him Carthage.
I mean, that 3-headed monster they got on offense is ridiculous.
Terrible.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous
It's
that they have there.
Absolutely.
I mean, and the Henderson kid. I mean, Sherrod, and then obviously Edwards. I mean, it's I mean, how many? I mean, we've been in the business now, 15 years, and we've seen how many of those state championships hoisted by him?
7, 8. Yeah. I mean, come on now. And let's head west and talk about the Bearcats.
Wow.
I think that this is one of their strongest defensive teams that they've had up front. Timon Meeks and those guys. Hall at safety. Swanson as well. These guys are playing phenomenal. They got a big game this week. We'll touch on that just a little bit. But for Titletown, it's an off year if they don't make it to state. You know what I mean? And then Ryan jumped up and bit him. That's the focus this week is getting back. But they're on the road this time. They gotta go up to Denton. But they faced Guy.
Yeah.
They faced a good Lancaster team. They've played well. The offense has been kind of here and there, but it's been good enough to win.
Right.
You still got Caden Finley, who I think has probably the best pair of hands in the state of Texas. That's just my opinion. Winkfield in the backfield is a guy, if you hadn't seen him run the rock, you need to turn on the tape. The Bearcats seem to be starting to really spring back into what they have in Titletown. What do you think about Aledo?
The thing I think about Aledo that I think gets overlooked all these years is their defense.
Yeah.
Their defense to me has been very underrated, or I don't want to say underappreciated because that's not really the right word, but we always talk about their offense. We talk about we talked about the quarterbacks and the running backs and the wide receivers. The reason they're winning games is because that defense is rock solid.
They held Lancaster to 0 in their own house.
That's unreal
on
to
the
think
road
about that. You know, I saw a stat last week where Adamson or somebody had 19 total yards against Suffolk. 0.
Right.
0. That means negative plays left and right. You know,
that's a lot of 3 and outs.
Are you playing 13 on defense?
The punter is real cold on the sideline.
Yes.
Yeah.
The thing about Aledo, a 130-game district unbeaten streak.
That's the talk this week.
The talk is this week. The problem I have with Denton Ryan, their defense locked down. Love Warmate in the middle, the Sam Houston State commit.
Yes, sir.
Love him in the middle.
Shout out to Big Cook.
Yes.
Yeah.
Their offense.
Yeah.
Can they score enough against Aledo's defense? I think Aledo can win an ugly game like this.
Right.
You know, against them. I think Aledo can go in there and maybe have a C-plus game offensively and still win the game.
Absolutely.
I think Denton Ryan's got to have a B-plus game on offense to beat Aledo. Okay. And I don't know if that still gets them beat.
Right.
I mean, I really don't. I mean, I love that it's up at C.H. Collins. I love that atmosphere is going to be absolutely crazy. But it's just that offensively, I don't know if Ryan's got enough. It's just there's something to miss.
Right.
I can't put my hands onto it.
Yeah.
I thought Seth would be a lot more consistent than he's been.
Right.
He hasn't. They seem like they can rush the ball one week, then they can pass the ball a little bit the next week. That, to me, does not loom upset.
Right.
You know,
It
just does. I don't get that feeling.
To beat a perennial power, that's what you have to have, and all your darts have to be aimed at the target, so a single target.
Absolutely.
And I was at the game when they played them last year in Aledo, and they had it the first half. They came out.
They were up 29, whatever it is, 29-14 or something.
Yeah. And Cookie broke a big 50-yard run on 4th down. He played a little fullback. We all sitting there, everybody on the sideline, we kind of looking like, wow. But again, Racine Guillory, that offensive line, Caden Finley, they take over in the second half, and they win. But I think this is a different mindset this year. Coach Rob and those guys, they have these guys playing at a high level, and that's the reason I brought them up. We talked about that game as the game, but don't forget about Richland over there, just down the street.
Man.
My guy, Gibson, he's having a phenomenal year.
Monster.
Hey, he looks like the district MVP to me right now.
How could you graduate that beast to Baylor last year?
Shout out to Jay Sean Gibson. He's having a phenomenal season.
I mean, that's one of the bigger surprises to me. I mean,
okay.
I really thought that I thought they'd be good, but
Absolutely.
I didn't think that after you lost him last year at the beginning of the year, the way that they fought, and when did they get to the fourth round of the playoffs, I think it was last year. That was one that maybe I underestimated.
Absolutely.
At the beginning of the year, but I'm not underestimating now. And that beast,
man,
that's it's reminiscent of what's the name that was at Trinity. In a way, was running the football a little bit.
Ollie Gordon.
Yeah. I mean, you're just giving him
a good comparison.
Just giving him the football and saying, all right,
stop me.
Yeah. We're gonna go left. We're gonna go right. We're gonna go middle.
Yeah.
And I mean, and kudos to that.
Yeah.
Know who you are.
Right.
I think sometimes teams try to trick it up sometimes to be somebody that they're not.
Absolutely.
That's who they are.
Right.
That's as far as you're going to go in the playoffs is on the back of him.
Right. Well, I think that and he's only a junior.
I know.
The 2027 class, I've been saying this in the state of Texas, is loaded. Like, you could come get any position in the 2027. It's loaded. Loaded.
And it's all within 40 miles.
Of each other. All of these college prospects. I mean, and shout out to my guy Jay Sean Gibson. But let's go up a little north. And I know you're in this area a lot. Melissa comes and stings Anna last week. That was one that had my eyebrow up.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Very much so.
Walnut Grove's still there.
Yes.
Anna, you got to leave him in there. I think Lovejoy and Melissa play this week. That's a big rivalry.
That's another one. So, and what will you say? You put in minds tell you, well, since Anna got beat by, Melissa's going to beat Lovejoy.
Right.
I think maybe now it's the same situation that you had last week with Waxahachie, catching them at the right time.
Right.
And Lovejoy, 2 weeks off to prepare.
Yeah.
They had the bye last week.
Right.
Be careful of this one when you're picking.
Yeah, not so fast, my friend.
Yes, be very careful.
Man, speaking of picks, I gotta get Gossett go get on me. I had done my picks. Shout out to my boy Gossett, man. Yeah, I think that Melissa showed something last week. Anna's a very good football team. DeAndre Williams is playing at a high level. That offensive line is
win at homecoming. In Anna. That's not easy to do when you've got Mr. Z.
Yeah,
so, I mean, that's a big win.
He's playing at a high level. So, I mean, I hadn't seen Melissa, but that one kind of woke me up a little bit.
It was an eye opener.
Yeah,
yes, it was.
I really think that this Lovejoy Melissa game is going to be one that you kind of look at. Now, let's talk about the game that I was actually at last week, and that's Salina and Frisco Panther Creek.
Wow.
Panther Creek, we know what they have out wide in the backfield, the quarterback position, Fry. You got to talk about Parker Ord, who was really kind of the star of the game, the tight end. Mm-hmm. But listen, Salina went back to full house backfield. When they came out, I was like, oh, man. Like, I hadn't seen a full house backfield all year. 3 spread, 2 tights, 12 person. I mean, they went back to that old school football. And I had a chance to talk to the coach afterwards, and he said, hey, that's just what we're going to go back to our bread and butter. Because, you do have Bo Bentley. Yeah. L.J. Taylor's been playing at a phenomenal level. You got Vidial as well.
I love the Gutierrez kid.
Straight up.
Kid,
yes.
Rugged runner.
Yes.
Rugged runner.
He had 133 on the ground.
Thought he was underrated last year in the state championship
Absolutely.
game. Very.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we're talking about a 2,000-yard rusher last year.
Yeah.
And, Gutierrez is the train that kind of gets that locomotive going.
Mm-hmm. But, funny how Bo Bentley was a wide receiver at once. And now he's
yeah. But he's headed across the board. You know what I'm saying? But
they graduated a lot on their offense last year. Now they had some defensive replacements that were experienced guys coming back. Yeah. Tight end, obviously,
Pitt.
So you knew that it was going to take some time maybe to kind of gel and get there. I mean, they had a decent district schedule.
Right.
But what you got to like about what they are is that it seemed like they're not talking about last year. Mm-hmm. Ward went out there and interviewed Bentley back in June, and he really didn't want to talk about winning the state championship.
Right.
That tells me that the coach had them head right with ball going into the summer.
Right.
And that's, to me, is the key when you're a defending state champion.
Right.
You know, when we alluded to it earlier. You know,
Right.
let's not talk about. Let's go in and kind of close that door. We got our
Yeah.
rings already. They fit. You know, they're in their cases. Let's try to go add to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's been the mentality.
Well,
for
the thing about this game is, Panther Creek they did a lot better, with the big plays. Webb had a big touchdown run.
Love the Webb kid. Good
man,
grief.
he's playing at a phenomenal level. Hey,
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Now, I saw a Texas Tech coach at the game. I don't know if they might be switching. I know he's going as a safety, but I was impressed with his I was impressed with his running back skills. You know what I mean? And
we call just get him on campus.
just get him on campus.
We'll figure that out.
I mean, Texas. Shout out to Coach McGuire, man. They're doing a phenomenal job in recruiting.
And the thing about Coach McGuire, what I love about him, and you and I both know,
Absolutely,
he was the same guy
at Cedar Hill
that he is today at Texas
Shout out
Tech.
to Coach McGuire. Still follows me on Twitter.
Yes.
Still, he sometimes reposts.
Post it. Yes, he'll repost. I saw
Absolutely.
him last year at a game at the Star.
Yeah.
Talk to me
still
for
Joey
a
Mack.
whole quarter.
Absolutely.
None of this big time
Yeah.
none of that.
Yeah.
That guy knew where he came from and is never, and I mean never forgot.
Even when he went to Baylor and come back
Yes.
to Cedar Hill games, he was the same guy.
He never
And
forgot.
I'll tell you who else is Phil Longo at Sam Houston State
Yes,
the same
yes.
way.
Still,
Yes,
he
hit me up.
He's a
You know
good
what I'm
guy,
saying?
man.
That's
That's
my
a
guy.
good guy.
I'm
I
going to
didn't
Sam
know
Houston
that.
State. Yes,
I
no.
did not know
Even when
that.
he went to Ole Miss and he went to
Yeah.
still kept in touch with me.
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Shout out to those guys. But, I think that Solana showed me something that they still have that grit. Because, Bo Bentley's going to sling it around. They can still go 4 wide and do all those things. He didn't have the statistical game that you would see from Bentley, but his legs.
Yeah. A lot of talent on that field last week. I mean, there's a lot of talent on that field. I mean,
that you're going to see on Saturday.
Yes, dude. I mean, that is a rivals or on 3 wet dream to go to have it, because you can just go both sides of football, both teams.
Right.
Boom, 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 heads going on.
Right.
I think that now they got a leg up now in that district. You don't want Walnut to, say, well, we don't have a shot at winning district now.
Absolutely.
Your next statement now is to continually get better, because guess what? Money time is in 5 weeks.
Absolutely.
Money time is in 6 weeks.
Yeah. Well, they'll see each other again.
Yeah. Now they'll see each other.
It's going to be
so
those
you
same
don't
two.
want to you don't want this game to kind of stunt that progress for a couple of weeks, because you can't get that bad taste out of your mouth.
I'll tell you what, Panther Creek's going to have to find a way to get that running game stopped, because in the fourth quarter, I don't think Solana attempted a pass. And, shout out to Evan Caney. He scored 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
This is after Gutierrez was the guy. He went out with cramps, and he came in and scored 4 and went over 100.
Yeah.
So the recipe for success is there.
Yeah,
and Solana knows what they can do. It's kind of like the old okey doke that Muhammad Ali used to play. You think he's drunk and he's sleeping, he come and hit you with, the rope-a-dope. It's the same thing. It's like they play with their food a little bit.
I call that putting knots on your head up
Absolutely. I mean, what else can you say about these guys? But I thought that was a great game. Panther Creek's going to be back. They got a few things, maybe they got to clean up, but they were able to get a couple of interceptions. The defense played well in spurts. But just when Solana decided to go back to, like I said, full house backfield, ISO left, right, toss sweep, it was just they took over the game.
And think about it, your team probably wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah.
You bring out a new, bring out a new loop in the,
because LJ Taylor had been his favorite, Bo Bentley's favorite target. He'd been putting up numbers. That's one reason I was there to see him. But I think this Solana will be where they're supposed to be, and you can expect Panther Creek to be where they're supposed to be. No doubt about it.
Both of those teams will be heard from.
Absolutely. Now, a big game this week is Seguin and Timberview. Shout out to my guy, Coach Colbert. Shout out to Coach Gordon. This
opened up new stadium last week. I
man,
wish I could have gone there.
I know.
Thursday.
I didn't even know that, man.
I wasn't thinking. I should have gone.
Here's the thing, man. Coach Coleman has these guys playing at a high level. If you don't know who Braylon Barnett is yet, you need to get him on your radar. He's a two-way star over there at Timberview. He's been putting up numbers. He's probably going to be newcomer of the year in that district, I'm sure. But listen, don't sleep on Seguin.
Yeah.
What do you think about this one?
Well, they got Timberview. The one thing I worry about Seguin is depth.
Right.
That's the one thing that that scares me a little bit.
Their ones can compete with anybody.
That 22 can go.
Right.
I worry about, going through the rest of the district trying to get there. But let's emphasize it just on this game here. I noticed the last couple of weeks seemed like Timberview's kind of gotten some things straightened out a little bit too here a little bit.
Right.
So now you win it. Went into new place last week. Then you're going the road at Mansfield Timberview, which is a huge swing game for district. I'm favoring the Wolves.
Right.
I am favoring. But like you said at the beginning, Seguin has put themselves back on the map the last 2 years.
Yes.
For a while there, they kind of fell off.
Year.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just hope that they can build the numbers a little bit, because that's how me, you've got to have more in the chamber so you can practice hard, so you can go through this. I just worry about that. But, man, I think that is an excellent, underrated football game that's low on the radar for some people.
Yeah.
But, I knew that was a good football game.
Yeah. So we're going to go out east a little bit before we got here with Longview coming back west again to take on Rockwall. Now, we saw what Rockwall did a few weeks ago.
Yes.
They beat a young, Roy City.
Yes.
And
those sophomores?
They're coming. So everybody that's beating them now, just like
get them lumps
just
in.
like Dion said, beat me now. When that first year he got out to Colorado. Beat Roy City now, but they coming. They beat a very good Roy City team.
Yep.
Young guys, but they're coming. What do you think about Rockwall and Longview?
Well, the thing about it with Rockwall, I saw them against Louisville.
Right.
And that was a game where Rockwall just ran out of energy late.
Right.
And I didn't quite understand what
Yeah.
they kind of got away from their bread and butter. I don't understand. But for them to go do the following week what they did, that told me that's a huge huge jump. Yeah, they're peaking.
Yeah.
And then to win again, now against Longview. Longview, you know what they're going to try to do.
Yeah.
They're coming in here and saying it's student body left.
Right.
It's student body right, because they want to keep Rockwall's offense off the field.
Right.
So who wins that line of scrimmage?
Absolutely.
That is a line of scrimmage game to a T. If the boys, if East Texas boys come in here and they're able to get those 5 guys up front and knocking people off the line of scrimmage, Longview will win.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of a statement game for Longview.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Coach.
We ain't went nowhere.
Yeah. Coach King is not on the sidelines.
Yeah.
God bless his soul. I hope he recovers really quickly.
Yes.
I mean, but they need to start stacking some W's up here.
Sure.
I know they had a tough non-district schedule, but it's time for Longview to get in their groove, kind of like they did last year.
Well, I had a chance to see him against Sock, and very disciplined up front. Hamilton, the quarterback's going to do his thing as well. You got Herndon. I think you got to find ways to get him the ball a little more.
Yes.
It kind of went to him at times, and he was kind of cold. But they got a couple of 2 or 3 backs that can go too.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Don't they have depth at the running back
they
position?
Do.
So that's
they
another
do.
reason why I'm thinking. And they're different runners.
Right.
One's
kind of a power guy.
Yes, and the
you got
other
an in
scat
between
back.
them. Okay. So they'll be able to mix it up.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm Rockwall to play devil's advocate, I go with my tempo on offense. Iker spreading that ball around, Duckworth, Wiley, and those guys getting it. Kind of keep them off balance. It's kind of what they did to North Crowley.
Now, let me ask you this. When you did see them, how were they defensive line-wise, size-wise? Because I thought last year they were a little undersized.
Yeah, Rockwall, same thing defensively. They're kind of a bend-don't-break type of defense, but, they can score with anybody.
Okay.
And I think that, my guy Brent Reichert is the guy for that offense. He was over 2,600-yard passer last year. He seems to be coming out of his shell and getting the ball around.
Okay.
I think, Rockwall at home is tough to beat,
They're just a couple of 4th downs not being in the state championship
absolutely.
last year.
Absolutely.
I mean, people don't understand how close they were at the state championship game last year.
I'm telling you.
And Coach King told me at the end of that game, God bless his soul, tears in his eyes, said that was one of the toughest losses he's ever had, and that's what,
and he's
40
had
plus
a lot
years?
Of them. He's had a lot
40
of
plus years as a coach,
Yeah.
30-something years.
Well, they were right there. And then, to beat, soundly beat DeSoto the week before that, they kind of had the momentum.
Right.
And, they left a little meat on the
perfect game for them. They wanted a 17-14 game against South Lake last year.
Right.
And now, don't get me wrong, South Lake Carroll was down to Glenn as a running back, because they didn't have any depth at the running back position. But I mean, you know that Longview knows how to win these big games.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. They've got instant pedigree on that side of it.
Absolutely.
And I know Rockwall has won some big games, but when you talk about winning big games, Longview says we've been there and done that.
Been there and done that.
Yeah.
The last game before we get out of here is in that district we talked about Flower Mound Marcus, Louisville, Geyer, and Capel this week. I mean, pick a corner of DFW. Really in the state this week, you can go find a good game.
Yeah.
It's worth the price of admission in this one.
And Capel's got a big one on this coming up. Yeah. Antonio Wiley, though, I think you and I talked about it last year, and I know we've said it several times before. I think he's one of the most underrated head coaches in the Metroplex. Nobody really goes and when they talk people, they say, "Oh, Doc Riley," justifiably so. Don't get me wrong. I know it's his third year there,
right?
But what he did with that program for where it was in 2011, to what it was last year, obviously with Emerson, Griffin and everybody there, And then even this year, when you thought it was going to be a rebuilding year,
Carter Zingerman.
I mean, they played the heck out of Waxahachie. I don't know if the game got called at halftime,
Absolutely.
but I mean, I think it was a 1 or 2 point
lead
1
at
halftime,
game.
something like that.
16, yeah.
So I mean, it's a huge swing game, and when it's those four, anytime you beat one of those four, that's a huge swing in trying to and just positioning also in playoffs.
Yeah. Seeding.
Division 1 or Division 2. I mean, all of that's balancing the act on that. So, that's going to be a good game. I'm looking forward to that. My boy Ward's going to be there for that.
Absolutely. and then, Geyers, they play the toughest schedule in the state, as you can see. They're battle-tested.
Is that a team that's about a year away, too?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to change the subject.
No, it's not a change of subject. I've been saying that 27 class. Really 28. They got a 28. Carter Morgan has been playing out of his mind at both quarterback, wide receiver. He's doing everything. And then they got Tristan as well as wide receiver, Corbin Glasgow. Of course, you got Zephyr Cry, Zane Rowe, who you talked to this week. And you got Kyron Haywood, Darren Neal, Cobbs.
It's almost
Garcia.
It's almost an embarrassment of riches.
Right.
And I mean, it comes to that.
Right.
But isn't that maybe the most talented team north? What the Metroplex is. When you look there, you go, "Wow, okay, this is to be ranked
on paper."
On paper.
Yeah.
Now it's got to all kind of come together.
It's got to gel.
We've had some inconsistencies on the offense a little bit.
Yeah.
But
I think they're still finding their footing.
I think they're. Well, that's what I was going to say. I think they're still
their best ball is ahead of them.
And I was going to ask you that. I think that if you get that offensive line playing at their level or at their peak,
right,
you're going to be very balanced.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe we just weren't very balanced at the beginning because they're kind of moving in new faces, trying to do things of that nature. But, yes, I think you've knocked it right out of the park. I think Geyer's best games are ahead.
Yeah, I think that, they're one of those teams that you don't want to see them in the first round.
No.
They could be very, very nasty, physical.
You don't want to see them
you don't want to see them. No, because they're coming downhill with Cobbs and company, and you're definitely going to see these guys when it comes to playoff football.
It's an ice pack game.
Yeah, it's an ice pack game. You got to be ready for that. You know what I'm saying? Where are you headed this week?
I will be, South Lake Carroll and Keller on Friday, and tomorrow I'm actually going to finally get to go out and see Lone Star and Frisco. I want to see Damian Gross. I haven't seen South Lake Carroll and I hadn't seen Lone Star, and I'm looking at the schedule going, I better do it now or it's going to have to be the playoffs.
Right.
So I feel bad that I haven't got there.
Yeah.
I think Keller at least gives them a pulse in the game.
Yeah.
I think the Raccoons are trying to slow the game down a little bit, but they're still 35-point favorites.
Yeah.
But I want to see Damian Gross, and I want to see Ryder Mix. I want to see, Hoyt. I want to see White. I want to see Deck in the back. I mean, Robinson. I want to see these guys in person before I can get a view of how they're going to do in the playoffs.
Take a look at QB1, Trey Wright. Sophomore.
Embarrassment of riches.
Yes. Super talented.
God, I had 4,000 yards passing, 40-plus TDs.
Started on varsity point guard. This is one of those guys that's going to be a national recruit if you don't know who he is yet.
Their JV teams and ninth grade teams last year undefeated.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the smallest enrollment in that district over there. But Jeff Raymond.
Shout out to Coach Raymond. That's another guy that's always great, too, as well.
Yes.
Always great.
Media great.
Media savvy.
I mean, he is one of the true good guys in the business. It's hard not to root for him.
Well, Pat, we know they're not the same this year. Shout out to Pat Botese from the Dub. Shout out to my guy Keith Wheeler and Dr. H watching, Raymond Wesley, and everybody tuning in. Shout out to my guy Jerry Outhouse Sr. for tuning in. Pat, I agree with you, but they're still a playoff team. We know that Longview's not the same, but they're still a playoff team. I was at the sock game This is a test for Longview this week.
Well, no, and I think it's a measuring. Well, I hate to use that. It's a measuring stick.
It is.
It is. It's a measuring stick.
Because they haven't seen Forney. They hadn't seen North Forney yet.
Right. And I mean, and
Heath. This is another five-team district that could go any other way. Anyway.
It's just they're all over the place.
They're all over the place.
Because of what?
Parity. Yeah. I mean, you got to look at that, man. You know what I'm saying?
It's all here, man.
Man, but listen, before we get out of here, give everybody out where they can find you, man. You can see this guy on Sundays on NBC5 at Inside High School Sports.
Yes.
Listen, this is my guy. This is family. He's a busy guy, so for him to show up, you know what I'm saying? Even though he likes that other color up, we're not going to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Tell them where they can find you.
The thing I love it is that we've been opposite teams when we met each other, but we respect each other.
Absolutely.
And that's the one thing that I tell people. I said, I don't respect many. I respect some people, but I don't respect many more people than you in the business.
Yeah.
You do it right. It's about
Absolutely.
the kids, about the athletes. Never been about Mark Henry.
Absolutely.
And I want you to stay true to who you are. And
Absolutely.
You've done that. So proud of you, brother.
Absolutely.
So proud of you.
Absolutely.
You can catch me at Twitter, Kenny Matthews, lowercase. You can catch me at FridayNightGlory.com. You can also catch me on, like you said, Inside High School Sports. Have a little segment on there. And we also want to say that we have the only recap show in the Metroplex
on 11:30
on Friday nights
Yeah.
on Inside High School Sports. Ward for Saul, me and Matt Diggs, we do a wrap-up. We try to get every Metroplex team in that 30-minute period during that time.
Absolutely.
So far, we've been about a 98% success rate.
I see y'all on Friday nights. You know what I'm saying? So
it's a little rush, mad dash to get home sometimes, and we're worried about it. But Matt Diggs has been great with that. He's pulled the feather out of his hat a couple times to get that done. It's starting to get some there. But at least if you like to at least get a score, come catch us over there. Yeah. And obviously, just catch us on the sidelines, man. And feel free to anytime text, tweet, whatever. And I give my phone number out at 214-704-0524. Man, you can get in touch with me anytime. There's no reason you can't say I didn't respond. I respond to everybody, 100%.
And shout out to my guy Randy Edwards. I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for these guys. You know what I'm
Randy
saying?
Edwards gets major props for getting us. I mean, just think about the people that he brought around with that vision and see what they're doing now.
Right.
And given that the opportunity that we have taken from Randy just helping us from the beginning.
Absolutely.
Man,
Anytime he calls, I pick up.
Yep.
Anytime.
Started with him, man. FridayNightGlory.com, man. You know what I'm saying? But listen, we appreciate you joining us this week. Man, hopefully everybody gets home safe. I'm going to try to get home safe. You know what I'm saying? That traffic is a booger. But listen, man, the On Your Mark show each week right here, 6 o'clock now. Tap in with us, man. Go to OnYourMarkSports.com as well. Listen, it's Sharky time. So go to FishbowlRadioNetwork.com. Go to the Sharkies. Vote for Host of the Year, Show of the Year, Sports Show of the Year. 3 categories we can come up. Now, we've been Sports Show of the Year for the last 2. Can you do it this one too?
Absolutely.
Okay. I thought there was one.
Absolutely, but I'm coming for the crown this time. You know what I'm saying? I'm eligible to be Show of the Year now. I want my picture on the wall.
I may go vote.
Yeah, hey, we might have to get some bots or something going. You know what I'm saying? But listen, shout out to my guy Carlos Cruz for watching. Jerry Outhouse Senior, you know what I'm saying? Pat Botizzi. Definitely be tapping in with the dub tonight. My guy Keith Wheeler from H-Town, you know what I'm saying, watching. That is the On Your Mark show, powered and sponsored by Epic Sports Apparel. Every player I compete, we'll tap in with you next week.
Peace.
Hey, this Manna Mike. I'm not sure what you own, but this here is on the mark. Like a spiral from a 5-star recruit, we throwing darts, really focused. WD-40 couldn't stop the way we grinded. In the trenches, putting that work in, I relate to all my linemen. This is for the men, the boys do not belong here. Tiptoeing to the top, we doing cone drills. The hottest show in the world, you don't even gotta search. Steady putting in work, you see the sweat up on my shirt. They wasn't aware of us at first, we wasn't on their radar. Now every play that we make, they gon' say similar to a razor blade, we gon' stay sharp. The news ain't official if it's not on the mark.